Oh, we're back. What has it been? 20 game weeks? 15 maybe? But it is double game week 24. And we are here with a special guest, a coast to coast legend, three-time champ, four maybe?
Two-time with an asterisk on the third.
Ooh. He has some grievances to talk to us about today.
But not that.
Uh, but it's not that.
It's
But
about
yeah, we'll we're gonna chat some FPL. We'll talk about some Liverpool assets. We'll talk about probably some Bournemouth assets. We'll talk some chip strategy. Um, but yeah, over to you. What's your first grievance, Rich?
So we mentioned chips. So we were going back and forth in the group chat about this. So they launched the assistant manager chip, which people are calling the Ass Man chip, which I really like that name. They launched it in the middle of the season, and I thought that was a ridiculous thing to do, to announce what the rules are halfway into a competition. And I feel like it puts certain people are going to be in a better position to take advantage of it than other people, and that's just by pure happenstance. Like, there was no strategy involved in that. I think it'll be marginal, but they could have just told us at the beginning of the season, and it would have been fine. And then now, so this is the first week that you can actually use it going into game week 24.
Double game.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen this on Twitter, but the way the chip works is you can, once you activate it, you get like a new spot on your team, and you can put a manager into that spot. So the first time you do that, you don't have to use a transfer. So it doesn't take a free transfer, right? Like using the chip gives you a free manager. And the way it's worded makes it sound like when you make subsequent transfers, so it goes for 3 weeks. So you pick somebody the first week, and then in the second week, if you want to switch your manager, that will use a free transfer or cost you 4 points, right? But what it doesn't tell you, and what has happened, is if you select it for the first week and then change your mind before the first week happens, that also costs you a transfer or 4 points. And it doesn't tell you that. So
That's
all
not
these
very
people found
logical.
out the hard way that if you want to, you have to pick the guy that you want when you activate the chip. Otherwise, it's going to cost you even in the first week.
Are you speaking from experience?
No, I'm not. I saw it on Twitter.
Dang it. Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I heard, I don't know, one of the content creators I was watching said that, and I was like, ooh, that's definitely going to piss some people off.
But that's like objectively wrong. That's not what the thing says, and there's no way that people would know it.
Yeah.
And that's a byproduct of them launching this mid-season instead of having done it before the season started.
Yeah, I don't think that's pretty bad from them. But I think the reason they didn't launch it is because they didn't know what they were going to do.
I see. That's what a lot of people said, but I don't think, if it was something that was really simple, like your vice captain gets double points also, then I would have thought, yeah. But this is way too involved for them to have made it up on the spot. I think they might not have been ready, maybe, but I think they definitely went into the season knowing what it was going to be, because this was a ton of work for them to do. They had to come up with prices. They had to come up with all these crazy rules. It's a really complicated thing. So
yeah, I heard that, you know how there's the FPL challenge thing that you can play every week?
Yeah,
I don't either. But apparently they experiment there every week and see what kind of happens.
That's interesting.
But yeah, on your point of the mystery chip not being revealed till halfway through, I think that it's tough because, I mean, I kind of, in my head, I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be a chip where you're going to want to use it in a double game week. So I don't know if it would have changed much in terms of how most people will play it, but
for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
Yeah, I think it's it's a small thing, but it was a very avoidable thing. And especially with the fact that it uses your budget and it uses transfers. So the transfers thing doesn't matter so much, because by the time you found out about it, you would have had plenty of time to build up transfers. But it makes team value more important than it would have been otherwise. So if you happen to have a little bit higher team value, that's a small thing, but hey, you're in a better position than somebody else who didn't prioritize that. And they didn't know that they should have prioritized that for this.
I think there's a few listeners on here that might not even consider team value very often, Rich. So this is some high level stuff. I'm loving it.
But it uses your budget. Like
It does. It does. I think honestly, I mean, I look at it as a boost for me chasing. I'm chasing you. I'm chasing Logan. I think it helps the people that are a little behind because it's a big swing. It's just another chance.
I think people who have like kind of calculated what its expected value is it's the most powerful chip that gets you points. Like the wild card is kind of difficult to quantify, but in terms of triple captain, bench boost, and this, it gets you the most points.
I think free hit could also.
That's difficult. Like also difficult to evaluate because it's not like strictly additive. It's what you had versus what you're getting, and also like all these kind of strings off of what transfers it saved you, what you could have done. So it's super complicated to quantify. But like triple captain's super easy to quantify, and so is bench boost.
100%. It is, end of the day, a powerful new chip that will help some people. And I'm licking my chops to try to catch you guys with it. On that note, Richard, just with that chip and with Arnie Slot being the man, like how do you rank the Liverpool assets for this double? What's your take on it? Just any commentary there? You have Trent, you have Mo.
I have both of them.
Yes, Arnie Slot. I don't know.
I didn't use my triple captain earlier in the season. So as long as this is the only double, because there's like some very small chance that Spurs double in 25, and that would be announced like Saturday morning apparently. I think maybe they played today and that like had a result. I have no idea if they like won or not, but as long as that doesn't happen, I'll use triple captain because it's just a single double game week. And there's a bunch of different scenarios where at the end of the season you could have a lower placed team playing for something, playing against a higher ranked team that is not playing for anything. So that could be increase the value of it. And there's also more teams doubling at the same time later in the season, so that's probably more valuable to use than it is now. But it's also possible that now is the best time and you'll want to use other chips later. So it's hard to tell.
Yeah. I had 1.5 mil in the bank, totally planning on getting Slot in, but I just kept thinking about it. I ended up wanting to go triple Liverpool. So I made the transfers, and I don't know when I'm going to use the assistant manager chip. But just from a high level, when planning your chip strategies out, you want to think about the doubles and the blanks in general. So this week, 24 is a double, and then we'll have a small blank in 29 where the EFL Cup final will be. So it's probably Newcastle or Liverpool, or I forget all the teams, but 29 will be a small blank.
It'll be small, but it'll be really good teams. So it'll impact a lot of people. I think Palace, Newcastle,
Villa could get blank,
and Liverpool, I think, or I think possibly Spurs because it's Liverpool versus Spurs.
Yeah,
right?
but what Spurs that's we touching, man. I mean, maybe
it's whoever Spurs would play. I think
he's targeting Spurs, though. He's targeting them. Dude, he's targeting his own team.
They're so low that they could be a good assistant manager, though. But yeah, 33 will be a double, 34 will be a blank, and then 36 will be a double. So
and then I think 37 can be potentially also a blank, but that's a low chance.
Yeah.
So that you like you said, you use all your chips during that to navigate all that and maximize how many points you get.
Yeah, and it's like I'm probably gonna play my triple captain, even though like I know most people are gonna do it, but there's just other chips in the doubles that I feel like will be more powerful later in the season. So.
I think that the general consensus is if you have triple captain, use it now. If you've already used triple captain, then either you can use assistant manager or not do anything.
Like last year when the general consensus was free hitting in that blank game week.
That was a disaster. That was an absolute disaster.
Rich, any surprises that you're seeing across the table or anything that you were shocked about this season?
The real table?
Yeah, besides Mr. P being so low and
our table.
Yes.
Yeah, JL being above your dad. I don't know if he knows that.
I don't know if Jean-Luc does. I know my dad does. And he is making it. He said, "I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am making it a goal to catch Jean-Luc."
Yeah. Does he fully appreciate he's losing to somebody who's not trying?
But Jean-Luc he has a new strategy. I don't know if he's talked to you about it. He every once in a while, when he has his 4 or 5 transfers banked up, he uses them all on the informed players. Maybe with auto pick. Maybe that's just they're out there. I don't know. That's what I've heard, but it's working for him. He's moving up the ranks.
Look at him. He's got. I don't think he realizes it, but he's got Pickford double game week. He's got Van Dijk double, Salah double game week.
Oh,
He's got
no
Kluivert. Everybody's transferring in Kluivert. JL's had him for three or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And if you want to know how deep in the rabbit hole I am of content creators in the Twitter spaces on FPL, Kluivert's wife is expecting a baby. Could happen on game day against Liverpool. Wouldn't pick him up, folks. You heard it here first. Kluivert's mind is elsewhere these days.
Yeah.
Rich, where's your head at with the Bournemouth assets? They seem to be pretty popular for active managers that are paying attention.
Yeah. Skip. Unless you need the money, I'm skipping for Liverpool, and then gonna probably buy one of them for the Southampton game.
Yeah. Southampton got a target. Yeah,
I needed the money to get my Liverpool asset in, so I brought one of them in this week. Used both my free transfers.
Yeah, I think so. Southampton, Wolves, Brighton, Spurs, Brentford, Ipswich. I bet you those are the 6 worst expected goal conceded teams in the league.
Yeah,
all in a row.
Yep. Just want to look at this.
Is that your secret sauce, Richard? You've been consistently either winning or in the top 3 here. You got second last year, handing over the trophy to Logan. Is that your secret sauce? Would you say you lean on that more heavily than anything with the data and expected goals, expected team data or player data individually?
I'm aware of it and factor it in, but what is it? I'm not even watching what he's doing.
I don't think Richard saw it, Logan. You're gonna have to bring that a little closer.
No, I see it.
Don't worry. Logan won't have that again.
Yeah, that's part of it. I also listen to advice from people who consider,
of course,
expected goal data. So
are you looking ever at Arcold Palmer above you, or is it never even a look at his team?
I only at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So like the last 2 years, it's been me and Logan battling for. I think the year before last was Logan was in second. Maybe
I'd like to think.
I had that De Bruyne captain where he scored a bunch of goals and that made it close.
When he scored like 600 points, he scored 4 goals, right? And you. I don't know if that was 2 years or 3 years ago, but whenever that was, and then last year, I am super focused on who's ever the closest to me, either one ahead of me or one behind me, and the whole season, I'm worried about getting the best rank possible until the end, and then I'm focused on winning the league, which would mean either defending a lead or trying to pick somebody different. Mm-hmm. So like last year, I was obviously trying to captain somebody who I didn't think Logan would captain.
Yeah,
and we ended up both bringing in Eze on the last day, which if I did and you did, that would have made it pretty close.
It's hard though, because you can fool yourself into not doing the best decision because you think the other person is going to do the best decision. So I thought, I think it was Mateta that I thought was like the obvious pick in, I don't know if it was the 3rd to last or the 2nd to last week. I was like, oh, I think Logan's going to do that. So I went somebody else. And Logan didn't bring him in. He scored like 6 goals over the last 3 weeks. And
I believe that propelled me to 3rd. I'd like to think I was in one of these battles. I hope you're confusing me as one of the 2nd place finishes 2 years ago.
I don't know, man. It's been a while.
No, you were. I switched the order. Because I remember making the joke. Every year I'm battling one of you two.
I'm the best here in the trophy cabinet, though, for sure.
I want to give a shout out to Giuseppe because he's up there, but he's playing a totally different game. Like he's held Holland. He captained Isaac last week. Like
Jackson a long time.
He did, yeah. I
He was
mean,
getting returns. He was getting returns with Jackson. He shipped him out, so credit to him there.
yeah.
Barksonal.
Barksonal, he's doing, yeah. Tyler and Barksonal are doing all right. I mean, Champion Pong, surprised he's even in the top half. Uptown Dunk had a fall from grace. I mean, he was the leader, but then his City Boys started to cool off.
He's falling fast. How many cities? Click on his team. Does he have any City Boys? And then quick note on Champion Pong. He's actually had a lot of great differentials. Foden, he had him through this last run.
Really?
Yeah, he's had Foden. No City Boys for apps. He's just gone against
4-4-2 by choice. Interesting.
Yeah, you hate to see that. Raya though, Trent, you could argue as a midfielder, but at the end of the day, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Richard, again, and Logan too. Do you guys have a third definitive asset for Liverpool that you rate higher than the other? I mean, Gakpo Diaz, a little toss up, maybe. I'd like to say that, but Gakpo's leading obviously right now.
Yeah, it seems like Diaz is playing a false nine, and Gakpo and it's like almost like the old Liverpool with Firmino in the false nine, and then Salah and Mane. It's almost like that.
Yeah, Mane got more of the points for sure, and that's how it's going with Gakpo.
Yeah,
I think
Diaz
Diaz
is playing the Mane role. He's not like he's a different player. He's a very different player, but you know, it looks like that at least. It's weird. Like you'd think of Diaz as like that kind of speedy winger role, but that doesn't seem to be what they're doing. Yeah. And I thought about bringing in Gakpo last week. I wish I had.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. So I was worried that he played in a meaningless game. I think he wanted to play against his old team yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. But he only played like 53 minutes. But
yeah,
I don't know. That was weird. Like all the starters rested except for him. So that worried me.
He got his confidence up with the PK,
I don't know. I mean, it's unless he I think he could have requested to play. It is a weird thing though.
I think he did.
No one else traveled.
Yeah, right. So, I think he did request it because it was his old team,
and I see no world where he doesn't start at left wing next Prem game. I
don't know. Jada's hurt and Darwin.
Yeah, so. Darwizzy. Shout out Darwizzy though.
He does the job sometimes. Yeah, I full transparency here. I brought in Gakpo. I'm chasing the upside.
Yeah, I'm probably going to. I haven't yet, but I probably will.
Go different, bro. Go different. I did it. You want to do different, dude.
He's not chasing you. Don't worry, guys. I'm going different. I have Diaz. I've had him for like 3
had him a while,
so I can't. I'm just not going to rip up my team to go Diaz to Gakpo.
The thing I'm not sure about is, so I don't need the money to get Gakpo. I can do it just as is, but I'm not sure if I should switch one of my defenders for Mikalenko or any Everton defender, because like
it's Everton.
But they first of all, their defense has been good all year. They've looked really good in 2 games under Moyes, or one. I don't know, 1 or 2 games, and the Liverpool game is they're almost definitely not going to keep a clean sheet, but maybe he gets 1 or 2 points and then he keeps a clean sheet in the other game. So I don't know. That one's a coin toss to me. So
yeah, you never know until after the whistle because it's so unpredictable.
I'm the same way. I have 1 free transfer left. Use the first on Ndai, Everton striker. He's on pens, playing Leicester.
Yeah, because Calvert-Lewin's hurt, so he's apparently some random guy.
João Pedro. Happy to get him out. So then it's like, okay, I could get Mikalenko. I'd have to bench Gabriel against City, which you never know. He could score a header. They could shut City out. I gotta imagine City gets 1. Honestly, right now,
they're looking better.
Yeah, City's gonna start cooking again, but their fixtures are tough.
But it's not Haaland. It's like everybody else that's scoring goals now.
So weird.
He's doing the Harry Kane thing where he drops into midfield and is like a guy you play in defeat, and he distributes from there.
Harry
It's interesting.
Kane, he would be quite the asset still if he stayed.
I don't understand I think I told the last time we were here, I was like, the United spent all this money on Højlund and Xerxes. They could have spent combine the money that they spent on the two of them, bought Kane, and still have money left over, and have somebody who can actually play that position.
Well, I wouldn't wish that on Kane to be at that club.
I don't know. I feel like he could have
been the guy to turn it around.
Yeah, I could have.
A lot have tried and failed.
Yeah,
but Kane is
I don't know. It's like the same. It's the exact same arc as Rooney. It's like the prolific England striker goes from like a big but not major team to the team. I feel like
yeah. Well, in the interest of time, do we have any closing thoughts here?
I have one thing I would like to sort of. It was the thing that triggered this whole thing to begin with. That why I wanted to come on here. It's like such a niche thing, but it's completely ridiculous that they do it this way. So I'm maybe you're already aware, but I'll share. So when price changes occur, there's no known that like they don't reveal how price changing works. So there's a couple places online that will like try to predict. The only thing that isn't publicly available is the number of transfers in and out of a particular player. So you can use that data and use historical patterns to try to like come up with what their algorithm is for doing this. And there's all these hidden rules. And some of them have been discovered and proven and some of them haven't. So one of the things is if a player has a flag, like a yellow, red, or orange flag, I think it might only be red flags, but it may be all flags. So if they have the flag, that doesn't affect price changing. But when the flag is removed, so they go from red flag to no flag, that resets the transfer counter on the price change, and it locks their price for 8 days. So now, if you get red carded, you get a red flag for the next week, and then that flag should immediately come off when the week concludes, because then for the following week you're ready to play. You've served your 1 game suspension. So naturally, when you get red carded, a player is going to get sold, especially on the deadline day, right? So Saturday morning, everybody's selling the guy. When the deadline happens, that's when the flag should come off. So Saturday morning, deadline passes, the new game week has started in FPL, the flag should come off, and then price changes happen at night. So the flag coming off should prevent the price fall on Saturday. So at the end of December, I think it was Ryan Nori had this situation, and they took the flag off Saturday morning, so he didn't fall. The following week was when Bruno got red carded, and the same thing happened. Saturday morning, everybody sold him. His price was going to drop Saturday night, so if they took the flag off, he wouldn't have fallen. But they didn't do it for God knows what reason, and he fell. His price fell, and everybody who was holding him lost money on him. So, and this was all over Twitter. Like, why are they being inconsistent with this? So not only do they not disclose the rule, they also don't apply everything equally, so that they're having these inconsistent outcomes. And it's such a small thing, but it's just like the launching the chip at the beginning of the season. It is completely avoidable by just like an ounce of competence, and it would be completely avoidable. And it drives me nuts that they don't do it right.
I mean, it can be the difference between, getting the assistant manager you want or getting the player you want. So like it is a small thing, but
real impact though, right? Like
yeah.
So I don't know. That drives me bananas. I texted you. I have agreements that I want to air.
All right, let's hit the Twitter. Let's get the word out.
Actually, there is a back and forth on it. So one of the guys who like tracks prices, he tweeted about it and he said this is completely inconsistent and it's ridiculous that they do this. And he was the one who had like the reference to, because when nobody paid attention when it happened to Ryan Nori because nobody cared, but everybody had Bruno for the red card, of course, because that's what he does. So everybody was paying attention to it, and he's like, actually, this shouldn't have happened. The same situation happened last week, and the guy didn't fall. So whatever.
Well, I think the best managers didn't have Bruno. That's true.
That's true.
But he is an interesting asset because he can do it. He is a class player, but he's still Man U. Still Bruno. But yeah, that's like Solly March. Solly March's goal disallowed. There's a lot of things in FPL. You just got to roll with the punches because they are not a perfect system.
So
and
that was terrible. But that they're at least a little subject to outside forces there, right? Like Opta has to give the goal, and they didn't for a couple days. So that's not.
Yeah, this one.
That's FPL deciding to not continue to take in like live data after a certain point. This is just like their own stupidity getting in their own way because they don't disclose what the rules are, and then even though we figured them out, because after they don't disclose them, they still don't apply them consistently.
Yeah, they have all the power and they make the rules at the end of the day. But yeah, this is definitely the most negligence of any example for sure.
The game is run by incompetent people, and it brings me misery every weekend. But I still love it. I still love it.
I think it's run by like 2 people.
Probably, yeah.
Could be. Wonder what their rank is.
The guy who does Black Box, it's like one of the podcasts. I don't know if you've heard of them. FPL Black Box. It's Mark and Az, I think. Mark used to work for FPL, like apparently way back. He's the guy that started Fantasy Football Scout, the green one. Hub is the blue one. Scout is the green one. He actually used to work for them, like way back. I think he was like a web designer. So sometimes he like gives little nuggets of how they do things. So makes me wonder if there's like literally 2 people.
It would explain a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think, without Holland in the picture, price rises. Do they even matter? Obviously they do, but it is nice now.
I had to figure out how to
go back. Do you think we'll go back to Holland at some point this season?
I had to figure out how to forward a third Liverpool player. I had to do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance you get Holland back in the team at some point?
I think he's going to be the best captain in 29.
Maybe. Yeah.
In 29 when nobody plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be a powerful move. Tough to get him back in though. Haven't tried it yet.
Yeah. Is this your team, Logan?
This is the Scout.
The Scout. They're rating Gakpo.
Pretty similar to my team.
So what's happening with Forest? So okay. But then they just got trounced 5-0 to Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth stole their thunder. That was very unexpected because I don't think anyone was rating Bournemouth to win that that. Obviously. But even
Bournemouth is really good. But
they are solid. I mean, I remember
5-0 better than Forest. Good.
Yeah, that was an anomaly for sure. But we'll know more after the Liverpool Bournemouth game, to be honest.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Logan. This one will hit home to you. Who is the best American player in the world right now?
I would say Pulisic, closely followed by Robinson.
Okay. You think it's close?
I think it's close. Robinson's having an unbelievable season.
I think it's the closest it's ever been.
Yeah.
And
I think there's an argument, but in general.
And I think Robinson is the highest, sometimes American defenders seem to outperform when they play for the U.S. than when they play for their club teams. But in terms of a defender at a club team at a serious, like top European division, I think he's reached the highest quality of any American defender ever.
Yeah.
I hope he goes to like Liverpool or something. I mean, it's also just like he's captain of Fulham. He plays every minute. He's always
he's like the third of all players for assists.
It's insane. Like although 2 of his assists to Iwobi,
was that
the both crosses that Iwobi scored, he passed them to.
Yeah, just a square 15-yard or less pass, and then Iwobi crosses it for a goal. But they all count.
That was the luckiest turn of events I've had this year.
As Champion Pong said, goal is goal, and I think it applies for assist is assist.
Yeah,
goal is goal. All right, guys. We're coming on 30. Any closing thoughts? Yeah.
I was just gonna say you saw Musa got red carded on Wednesday.
That was tough.
Not
Bro,
good.
that also the refereeing in that game was so
I didn't watch it. I just saw that he I think it was the second yellow. It wasn't
watch.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, the first
like,
one he was
it looked like
being pretty dumb.
Michael Alva ref in Arsenal, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They should
Oh my
just-
gosh, this guy, dude. Remember when Odegaard was playing basketball in the box and they didn't call
I
it?
remember when Kovacic two-footed him on a yellow and the ref didn't even look at it.
Yeah, I think Michael Oliver is the best referee in England, but I think they should keep him away from Arsenal just
At
permanently.
this point, just for his own safety, I think.
But not even that. Just like you don't need to have him referee their games. You don't need it.
There's too much history there now. I mean, and the
Yeah.
whole city paying for an exhibition game, 20,000 euros. It's just a lot of stuff now. But I think I'll digress there. I think FPL pod, I think we can wrap that up and stop the recording. Happy to chat a little more, Richard, on that, but after. And also SLSG for all the SLSG boys. Logan's repping. That was a memo that was not actually given to Logan or I. We both just happenstance did it. Richard, we'll get you some Gallagher gear in the mail.
It's
all good, all good. But yeah, pleasure, Richard. Appreciate you coming on and chatting some FPL genius. I think if anyone actually listens to all of the commentary in this one, it is a long one. I think it'll help their game.
Good stuff,
It will.
man.
Playing your chips, folks.
Playing your chips. Good luck catching the league leader. He's 24,000 in the world overall rank right now, something like that. The level's high in this group. Good luck on the double game week all.
We'll be in the chat this weekend. See ya.